Legendary.
Sorry.
No, they're public. Okay. So you guys were just gonna give you like a rundown of the pituitary gland, the structure of it. It has an anterior lobe and a posterior lobe. The anterior lobe is connected to the hypothalamus through the hypophyseal portal system, and it's basically a system of fenestrated capillaries that allows the hypothalamus secretions of hormones to be transferred to the anterior lobe in a faster rate. And the posterior lobe is connected to the hypothalamus as well through nerve endings.
So here we have the histology of the pituitary gland. We only have the pars nervosa, pars intermedia, and pars australis pictured here. We don't have a picture of the pars tuberans, but it's also there as well.
And if you go, we're going to male city now, also known as the male reproductive system. And basically GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, is stimulated from the hypothalamus to stimulate the anterior pituitary to release FSH and LH. LH is released and it goes into the lytic cells, and there testosterone is produced. And FSH goes into the Sertoli cells, where with the help of secondary messenger CAMP and antigen binding protein, spermatogenesis takes place. And now we're gonna go over to Nightmare Factory, also known as the female reproductive system. It's basically the same as the male, but it's a little more complex because, of course, we are complex creatures. So GnRH is stimulated, and it stimulates the anterior pituitary to release FSH and LH. FSH helps in a growing mature follicle, and LH, when there is high estrogen levels, an LH surge is produced, and it causes the ova to be released from the follicle, and ovulation occurs.
So if the ova that's released is fertilized by sperm, which is also produced by the pituitary, thanks to it, the fetus can start being developed in the uterus. When the fetus is fully mature and ready to be pushed out, the head of it pushes against the cervix, and that sends a nerve impulse from the cervix to the brain so that oxytocin can be released from the posterior pituitary gland. Oxytocin is then carried from the bloodstream to the uterus, where it can stimulate uterine contractions and further push the fetus out, thus creating a positive feedback loop so that the baby can finally be let out and be born. Then you have a happy baby.
All because of the pituitary gland, by the way.
So when the baby is ready to finally eat, it'll make a suckling motion, which will stimulate mechanoreceptors in the nipples, which will stimulate the anterior pituitary to produce prolactin, which helps in milk synthesis. And at the same time, it'll also stimulate the posterior pituitary to produce oxytocin, which helps with the milk letdown so that the baby can eat.
And just in case you guys are not following, What's Up Lisa wrote, she commented on her page, she said, "Thanks to the pituitary gland, children are able to get proper nutrition from their mother." How cool is that? Okay, so this is just a little fun fact. Little did the pituitary gland know, to be able to phone the mammary gland, it needed its phone number as well as its areola code. It's not that. And this is a picture of us, and the reason we are so beautiful is because of our pituitary gland.
Okay, so adrenal hormone is another hormone produced for the pituitary gland. We have videos that are going to talk about it.
Since you guys don't like listening to our voices.
Let's learn about adrenocorticotropin hormone, or ACTH.
I'm sorry.
Let's learn about adrenocorticotropin hormone, or ACTH. ACTH is secreted by the pituitary gland, which is linked to the hypothalamus. The anterior portion of the pituitary gland is linked to the hypothalamus by a blood vessel system called the hypophyseal portal system. There is a two-step process for secreting anterior pituitary hormones. First, the hypothalamus secretes a releasing hormone that travels to the anterior portion of the pituitary gland by way of the blood vessel network. Second, the anterior pituitary gland responds by secreting its hormone. ACTH targets the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are located on top of each kidney. The adrenal glands have two main parts, an outer cortex and an inner medulla. Both parts secrete different types of hormones. ACTH targets the adrenal cortex. ACTH facilitates the release of cortisol from the adrenal cortex. Cortisol has an effect on blood glucose by facilitating the conversion of fats and proteins into glucose. Cortisol also has an anti-inflammatory effect. Another hormone. We hope you have learned something about ACTH.
I just want to note that somebody that I don't know is called Killer B, and they said ACTH aids in cortisol and aldosterone production, and how cool it is. Pituitary power hashtag. So this, oh no.
Okay, so growth hormone is another hormone that the pituitary gland produces, and we have videos about that as well.
Growth hormone releasing hormone, secreted by the hypothalamus, facilitates the release of growth hormone by the anterior pituitary.
I'm so sorry.
Another hypothalamic releasing hormone, somatostatin, has the opposite effect. Somatostatin inhibits the secretion of growth hormone by the anterior pituitary. Both growth hormone and somatostatin work to regulate the release of growth hormone. Growth hormone stimulates mitosis and differentiation of cells, which results in growth. Growth hormone releasing hormone.
So, two people that I also don't know, Killer B, said, it's so interesting how the pituitary gland controls so many of the body's hormones. Did you ever know that? Yeah? Okay. So also, I don't know, What's Up Lisa says, growth hormone release in the pituitary gland helps me grow big and strong.
Too much growth hormone secretion causes a condition known as acromegaly, or giantism. Too little growth hormone secretion causes impaired growth.
And Kim Kardashian just wants to let you guys know her butt is not fake, okay? She has giantism. And that's a result of the pituitary gland having a hypersecretion of growth hormone. So her butt is real, everybody. And this is just another video for our thyroid stimulating hormone and its effects on the body.
Let's look at another anterior pituitary hormone. This one is called thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH. There is also a two-step process for releasing TSH. First of all, a hypothalamic releasing hormone called thyrotropin releasing hormone, or TRH, is released. TRH travels through the blood vessel system to the anterior pituitary and causes the release of TSH. TSH targets the thyroid gland and facilitates the release of two thyroid hormones, T3 and T4.
It's a continuation. I know the ladies talked about this before, but it's all because of
T3 is also known as triiodothyronine, and T4, or thyroxine, is also known as tetraiodothyronine. Both contain iodine, which is required for making each hormone. T3 and T4 also work with growth hormone to promote tissue growth. T3 and T4 work to control metabolism. Too much T3 and T4 would cause an increase in metabolism and calorie expenditure. Too little would cause a decrease in metabolism. T3 is all.
Okay, so there's some commentary again from people that I don't know. They just really like our page and they just wanted to talk about the effects of T3 and T4. And basically, Killer B says T3 and T4 control the metabolism or energy levels, something that we all need to enjoy our summer correctly. And it's all thanks to the pituitary gland secretion of TSH. And the legendary pituitary commented on itself and said, T3 and T4 also give you the energy you need to do well on an endocrinology exam you may have coming up next week. I don't know if you guys had that, but, and this is just another.
An increase in TRH levels cause an increase in TSH, which cause T3 and T4 to increase. When T3 and T4 increase too much, then TRH and TSH levels decrease. This is known as negative feedback. We hope you have learned something.
So when there is, as the ladies mentioned before, if there is too little T3 or T4 being circulating in the body, there's a condition called hypothyroidism may occur. And the people who suffer from this ailment usually can't thermoregulate properly, and so they're usually cold. That's why we have a cute little thyroid gland. Antidiuretic hormone is another hormone released by the pituitary, specifically in the posterior lobe, and it aids in the reabsorption of water so that you don't become dehydrated.
And what's up, Lisa? Someone I don't know said, I'm able to retain water and not get dehydrated all because of my pituitary gland? Yes, that's correct. It's so cool that such a small gland is responsible for so many jobs.
And so if you don't produce enough antidiuretic hormone, the urine that you produce will become way too diluted. But if you're stuck in the wilderness, you could just drink it.
Do you guys know who Bear Grylls is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why it's funny. No one laughed.
Okay.
And
Bear Grylls?
yeah,
He's a survival expert.
yeah. So he usually drinks his urine a lot.
He drinks his own food.
So okay, so another hormone the pituitary gland secretes is melanocyte-stimulating hormone, and it's responsible. The role is obscure, but it's responsible for the skin pigmentation that we all have, and the reason the world is so beautiful today. Alright, just a fun fact, if you happen to have a loved one, if you kiss them between their eyebrows and the forehead, it kind of stimulates the pituitary gland to function more properly and at a quicker rate. What? Oh.
If you guys believe in chakras, it's kind of like more spiritual than it is scientific, really. But the third eye is technically the second chakra from the top, and it's supposed to be the chakra of awareness. So aromatherapy is also believed to help the pituitary gland function better. It's believed that cedarwood and frankincense, the essential oils, can help also stimulate the pituitary gland and make it function better. You can either smell it, put it on the roof of your mouth, or sprinkle it on your food, but it's supposed to help.
And Killer B wanted to mention to you guys, I definitely want to spoil my body if it helps keep a balanced environment for my pituitary gland to function. We need it, master gland in charge. And you're looking for because everybody gets to take two and together. It looks like the pituitary gland and you can
I love that.
We're done.
We made everybody t-shirts because it's so beautiful.
Just kidding, just for checkerboard.